Okay, welcome back to Have a Good Time. This is your host, John Davey. Happy to introduce the first one of these podcasts with video. So if you're listening on SoundCloud, sorry you're out of luck, but here we are. I have to say, this definitely changes the sort of like dynamic and feeling of the show so far. I haven't been doing this for very long, but having a camera trained on me is sort of a different thing than just talking into a microphone. But that's cool. I'm excited about it. I got this tripod off of Amazon for a good price that holds an iPhone, so that's what we're doing. So I had a really long work day the other day, and started work at 1 o'clock at the coffee shop. Got out of there at like 6, maybe 6:15, and worked until 11:45. So that was almost an 11-hour work day. And I was driving home, really excited to be home. And on the way home, my Jeep, just the engine stopped working and it started just coasting. And I was behind this street sweeper thing, and they were trying to move out of the way, but then I pulled in like basically right behind them so I could get off the main road because there were more cars behind me, and coasted into this onto this little utility road off the main road there, and had to leave my Jeep there. And I walked the 2 miles home from there, and got a call at about 4:45 or 5 in the morning from a police officer. I had left a note in the window that said, "Please don't tow it," Got a call from a police officer, and he was like, "Hey, I'm, called the tow truck, but if you can come and pick it up right now, I'll cancel the tow truck." So I, got up, went over there. He helped me move it off to the side of this little utility road, and then I called my insurance, who has roadside assistance, and they were able to tow it to the building that I live in, at no further expense. But the guy was like really late, so basically I had an 11-hour workday, and I had to get up in the middle of the night and wait for like an hour and a half while this tow truck came to pick me up, or to pick the car up and take it to where I live. So, anyway, I just got a call. I'm talking about this because I just got a call right before I started the video here about the guy's gonna have it fixed by noon, presumably today. So that's a big plus, and it's not gonna be that expensive of a fix. It has to do with like a temperature sensor or something like that. So. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck. I went to work yesterday, and I was feeling pretty high energy. I think partially because I walked there to Dead River, and then was able to get a ride after, pick my fiance's car back up. But yeah, it's strange. Tomorrow's my last day at the coffee shop, and I'm kind of looking forward to everything that's going to occur surrounding that. At least for a period of time, I'll have more time to be doing this podcast and video stuff and all that. I'm gonna try to dig in a little bit further into that, but definitely walking along that line of between clear order and the chaos of the unknown, which is I was talking about this the other day on the podcast, but yeah, I've definitely been here in this sort of at least emotional position before, where I'm sort of stepping out of something that I know and that I'm comfortable with into a new phase, and it is an exciting place to be, and also it could be like a little bit nerve-wracking, and That's good. That's like where vitality is, you know. And the other day I was talking about how, you know, you like if you're in that situation, you have to allow yourself to feel, you know, the fear and the excitement. And but I was talking mostly about fear the other day because I remember being in this position when I moved from Indiana to Tennessee, and it was definitely a nerve wracker. But uh, you know, the other part of that is excitement and potential, and I feel like I'm sort of lilting back and forth between those two phases in the last couple of days, where I'm like really excited and then I'm like really nervous and then I'm really excited and I'm seeing the potential and the possibility, and so that's where I'm at today. The Jeep thing spooked me a little bit because it was right. You know, it's like at the beginning of my last week of work, and I got this other new, you know, job like cleaning commercial spaces, and this is on the you know, this is the beginning of the week that's like leading into me not having my primary source of income, and that changing to doing this transcription thing, and with the commercial space cleaning job, I have to drive across town, so I definitely need my vehicle. So it's like a little bit nerve wracking with all of that, but I'm glad it's you know, it's sort of reaffirming. I have this tendency to like, you know, get you know, generate some momentum with my emotions going in a particular direction, and then landing either in maybe an overly optimistic spot, or a place where I feel like despondent or despair or something like that. And there lies, you know, those are these two extremities of this road I'm driving down. It's like, you know, there are the ditches on either side of that road, and and but it's good to be sort of shaken or snapped out of that ditch and bounced back onto the road. And that's sort of what this that call that I got right before this podcast started was like. It was like, okay, everything's gonna be okay. You know, it like rarely works out the way that you expect it to, but everything's going to be fine, and maybe it might even be better than you expected it. So that's kind of where I'm at today with that stuff. I made a really good smoothie this morning. It just popped into my head, and I'm not sorry. It just popped into my head, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, that's probably one of the top 10 smoothies I've ever made. And it had oranges, fresh oranges, bananas, almond milk, some Greek yogurt, and a new addition of strawberries. So it was primo, top-notch smoothie, and I wish all of you who are listening to this may one day get the chance to taste a smoothie like that, because I think you might flip your lid. So anyway, I don't know if you can tell that, like, I'm definitely feeling a little bit different, including the video into this podcast. It's a different change of dynamic, and I'm excited to try to, you know, incorporate that and get comfortable with that in the same way that I've grown to be a little more comfortable with talking into a microphone over time. I'm sure if you listened, you know, to the first couple of podcasts, especially the number 3 daily and onward, that it would be you could probably tell that I was like less comfortable then, and then, you know, increasingly comfortable. So that's a good sign. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but you know, if you're listening to this, you should give me some feedback. So thanks for bearing with me on this new journey with video, and watching me trip along here over my words including this new format. So thanks, and please remember to subscribe and like, comment, stuff like that. And I hope you found some value in this video podcast today. And leave me some feedback. Share it around if you care. Thanks to everyone who's been listening pretty regularly. I really appreciate your guys' attention and feedback that you've given me so far. And I love you very much. This is your host, John Davey, and you've been listening to Have a Good Time.